Good to see you again, Cisco. Thanks again for taking time with us. Last time we were talking about the launch of the One Piece anime heroes, and today you have some Dragon Ball for us.
We do. It's great to be back, and we're back in style. So we have three new lines, not three lines, but three new offerings for the consumer that will be available pretty much in the next couple weeks. So we're really excited to have them. This is like a little smorgasbord here. Which ones did you want to talk about first?
Honestly a little overwhelmed. That's a lot. If you want to just go from your left to right.
So starting here?
Yeah, we'll just start
Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's start with these guys right here. And so what I'll do is I'm going to switch these guys over to the side. So first of all, we're going to talk about the Adverge collection. So these guys are brand new. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand them up. And these guys, you can tell, they're small, but what makes them super cool is that they are hyper detailed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap to our close-up camera. And, you know, if you look at here with like the level of detail of these guys is pretty incredible, right? And our first offering is these two wonderful packages here. So these guys are really going to pop on shelf, right? These are 4 figures in a nice little window box for $24.99, right? So we have Goku and both the Super Saiyan God version and Rose, and then obviously Blue, and then Golden Frieza, right? So this is one of our offerings in our first wave. And we also have these bad boys also available, right? So we have Boo Gotenks, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and Ultimate Gohan, right? Now, there have been 60 of these guys made so far, right? And they've been available in Japan for a long time. So over here we have Super Saiyan 3, right, with like the awesome hair, and this will be available, you know, in the near future. But just the level of detail that they have in the face, we're really, really excited about it. So eventually all of these guys will be available in market, but I just sort of wanted to give you a preview of here's stuff that already exists, right? I mean, you can go on any direct import site that already has these things out there, but as far as being available to the US consumer and packaged, right? Currently now, these are available only as singles, right? Mm-hmm. But just for the American and the North American market, we're creating these 4-packs, right? So, you know, looking here at Broly, like just the level of detail.
It's pretty amazing. I like even with the attire and stuff, like he has the ear like robe from the movie, and yeah, those things are.
Yeah, so here's Super Saiyan God Goku here, right? Can I get even closer to the camera? Like, yeah, they're really, really neat. So these guys I've known about for a while, and they're really fun, right? So you can keep them on your desk or on your phone or just wherever, right? And the cool thing about them is that because they're so small and infinitely, you know, portable, it's good not just for like hardcore fans, but for even little kids, right? Mm-hmm. Like little kids, because they don't have a whole lot of, there's no articulation, right? They're just little resin statuettes with like super detail, right? So they're like ultra collectible, and they kind of got this cool kind of deformed style, so you know exactly who you're getting, right? But obviously because they're cute and cool at the same time, which is really tough to do, especially with a property like Dragon Ball, right? Because either you can get it horribly, horribly wrong or be spot on, and I think we're able to sort of pull it off.
I definitely agree. Those look awesome. I'm pretty sure they're gonna clutter my desk within the next year.
Well, we'll make more. Trust me. So this is the Adverge collection, and then I'm going to go over here, and then next up we're going to have. Sorry, I don't want to hear the scrape over here because I know the camera is very sensitive. This is the Attack collection. This is also brand new, and what I will do here is I'll also snap to our close-up, and so first off on this offering are Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, right? So if you look at just overall the detail, right? Like really, really sharp and great. And what's really cool is in store, they have a nice little like try me feature, because when you move the little lever, Isn't that neat? And it's really nice and smooth. I'm trying not to be too jerky for the camera, but like, again, like he has his Kamehameha and he moves up here, right? So that's Goku. And then we have Vegeta and he has his garlic, right?
Mhm.
So if I move him forward here
Mhm.
and he moves.
So the full performance.
Yeah.
That's
so,
awesome.
They stand at like 7 inches high, right? Because they're kind of like squatting down. But if they were to stand straight up, they're more on a scale of like 11, 12 inches. And so this is sort of the first line that we wanted to do something new, that we never really done a feature figure before, right? We've either had something that's a complete action figure or something that's just static like a statue, right? So we wanted to sort of combine the two. And these guys are going to be at $14.99, right? So they'll be great detail, good for kids as well as for collectors, right? So they're pretty sturdy. They're not going to break anytime soon. And these are the first two to launch. And depending on how well these do, I mean, goodness, we have tons of characters to choose from in terms of like who's going to be next, right? We just have to make sure what's going to be that right character, what's their signature move in terms of doing whatever it is that they want to do. And so hopefully these guys should do quite well, but they look fantastic. And we think they're going to do pretty good.
Yeah, I can't see that not doing well, especially, and then just the options you have. Every character pretty much has their own move.
Correct.
And then Goku has like what, 3 of them. Vegeta has another 3. Like,
yeah. So the options are pretty good. We just want to make sure that we stick to the characters that people are going to know, because what part of the thing that we're doing with Dragon Ball specifically is we want to introduce new fans as well as please old fans, right? And so the old fans, like, they're just waiting for the next thing because they want to collect a different version of something. But for fans who kind of have heard of Dragon Ball but aren't super familiar with it, we want to introduce them with the characters that everyone sort of knows and loves, sort of that top tier level that are very popular. Like, oh, I've heard of Goku, right? And so you look at this, like, oh, this Goku has blue hair. Why is that, right? And it's introducing them with different accessories and styling so that they want to learn more about the property, and then ultimately, start collecting on their own.
Yeah, those are. I just loved how like the full motion of it. Like you have the whole hand turn and everything, the body twist. Like,
yeah,
just
it's pretty smooth, right? I mean,
yeah,
moving here.
yeah, he has the whole. Just because I just remember being a kid and me and my friends mimicking the hell out of those moves, and to see them just being able to recreate that with on your own is. It's gonna make my Christmas shopping pretty easy.
So that's our attack collection, and then last but not least, what I'll do is let me try to very quietly so I don't mess up the microphone. This is our Evolve collection. This is our 5-inch action figure, and these are the 3 latest styles. And what I'll do is snap to our close-up, right? So we have Super Saiyan Future Trunks, Ultra Instinct Goku, and blue hair Gogeta, right? So again, like, super cool detail. Like, they look fantastic. 16 points of articulation, right?
Yeah.
$9.99. Like, that is just a bargain of bargains. Like, and for all the motion that you can do, I mean, even if you look at like the hands, like the hands and the wrists turn, right? Like, you don't see a whole lot of action figures. You basically can like rotate them, but this one has that added, right? That basically it changes the expression. So when you go from here to going like here, like, that's a difference, right? Like, any photographer will know it's just the slightest bit of a turn to the head or the pose that completely changes the mood. And so these characters are really made to do that. And then in the middle, we have, of course, fan favorite Goku. And even if you look when he's ready for his Kamehameha again, right? It's all about the hands, because if his hands didn't move and he was just like this, well, that doesn't look very good, right? But it's only when you really have the full articulation, right? you know what he's up to. You know what he's going to do, right? That's what makes these figures really, really popular and versatile. And then, of course, we have Trunks. The sword comes off. It actually fits on his back, right? So that's a pretty cool accessory. And then all of these are going to be available just in a couple weeks. And, oops, sorry about that, Trunks. You know, I mean.
And you said they're only $9.99?
$9.99. Like, that's a bargain, no matter where you're going, right? And the packaging on the back looks fantastic. And these guys are going to be available at like Target. They're available at Amazon. So we're really, really excited about this line. And this is just the beginning. They've done extremely well over the last year or so. So we're really happy because to get them to such detail in a 5-inch action figure, like pretty impressive. I've yet to see another 5-inch figure that is engineered as well.
That's what stuck out for me. The articulation, the detail is great, and with the adverts, I need like getting the detail into the smaller side is already pretty impressive. But yeah, with the 16 ports of articulation, particularly like the hand movements, which with Dragon Ball is like it makes a big difference, you know. And yeah, and that only $9.99. That's impressive. I think that's gonna start a whole new collection for a lot of people.
Yeah, these things have been flying off the shelf. So this is wave 3, right? Which means there's been a total of 9, right? So the first wave, you had Goku and you had Jiren, I think you had Broly, and then there's a Golden Frieza, and then I think there's a Vegeta in there, and there's one that I'm missing, if I remember. But yeah, I mean, there's over 50 characters.
Yeah.
For sure. Right. So it's just a matter of like, what characters do we want to see next? Right. And so again, I'm working with our R&D team to figure out like, okay, if we're going to create a new character, which character should it be? Is it really popular? Is it someone that's a little bit more deep? Right. Someone that you haven't really had a whole lot of screen time, but still looks cool. Right. There's all these things that we have to consider for these great figures.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's really impressive. That one, the Evolve line, correct?
The Evolve line, correct.
Yeah, that one got like, they're all great, but that one just, the price point is what's getting me, like.
It is. No, I know when I was looking at them and you're like, $10, really? I'm like, yeah, $10. It's like, you can't buy just one, right? Like they're that good that you're like, okay, if you're going to do a store and you're looking in the toy figure section, like you can drop $10, right? So. Yeah, and it's super affordable, right? So it's not like these things are like, you know, $87 and you got to like, you know, save up for Christmas, right? Like these things you can buy at any given point in time, which makes them evergreen, you know, any gift, right? Even if it's just collecting. I've bought coffee, you know, for me and a friend that have cost me more than $10, right? So, and these ones last a whole lot longer.
I mean, at an amusement park, your water costs $10, you know, so.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's so Dragon Ball it's amazing me how Dragon Ball always keeps just pulling me back into things.
Well, I think it boils down to the story, right? And very similar to like all the really great manga and anime, it's the story that keeps pulling you back in again, right? It's one thing to have really cool looking characters and effects. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, right? But that only can last so long, right? Before it sort of gets old, right? But when you have a story that is the foundation of all that, right? Then good stories tell universal truths about ourselves and about our aspirations and disappointments and all these things that I think people can relate to on so many levels. And specifically with all the different story arcs that exist in Dragon Ball, right? From like Vegeta to Beerus to all these things like that. When you finally, Beerus, he was one of the ones that's going to be, I think, coming up in one of the later ones. So that's going to be pretty exciting.
Awesome.
But with these story arcs, you know, you relate to them and you empathize and you're like, wow, these are great stories. And then to have a figure that you can sort of like, who's your favorite character, right? So that when you see a version of your character, you're going to get it, right? And so if my favorite character just happens to be Trunks, like I'm getting him first, right? Just because like I got a Trunks in my office, I got a Trunks in my kitchen, like whatever it might be, when you see a version of him that you don't have before, it's sort of a gimme.
So personal question: is Trunks your favorite, or if not, who is?
Oh man, my favorite, like just Dragon Ball character, period.
Yeah.
I would have to say Vegeta, and it's almost like a cop out. Not a cop out because it's. I mean, the Vegeta arc is really really good from where he started to where he ends up. Like it really explores the character, and if you're invested in it, you get it, right? The
Mhm.
only reason I'm hesitant to say Vegeta is because so many people like Vegeta, right? And so I want to be a little bit more original. But yeah, as far as depth of character, I think it would have to be Vegeta.
See that. What's your favorite Vegeta piece that you have?
I have a Tamashii Nations statue of Vegeta, right? That's just like super detailed. It's like the Super Saiyan Blue version. That it's just like if you look at like just the face, the expression on the face, it's just kind of cool to look at. So I think that's my favorite iteration of what he's offered. But you know, the Dragon Stars Vegeta, there's like 4 versions, right? Like they're pretty cool too. So it's really tough when Bandai has really good interpretations of what the anime should look like in real life, right? It's like saying, what do you like better? Do you like deep dish pizza or do you like sushi? I'm like, oh, I love them both, right? But but they're completely different. You can't compare them. So that's sort of the closest analogy that I have in terms of like what's my favorite version of my favorite character, right? So.
Man, these are great. Man, you had to go 3 lines on us.
Well, we have lots more in the works, but it's very fortunate that I get to work on a property that is so deep and that so many fans love, right? And there hasn't been a new show really in quite a while, right? So the fact that for a property that has a lot of legs and continues to have fans, and I think it started appearing on Hulu back in like October, November. So it's available out there, whether it's like Crunchyroll or Funimation, whatever it is. Like fans can see it, and Lord knows there's enough YouTube stuff on it, right? So we're discovering that fans and of both casual fans and just core fans, like they're discovering so much online already that it only helps people really get more invested into the property and learn more about the characters.
And you give us so many options to celebrate our fandom too. It's just it's just a big growing property. Like it's still growing. It feels like it's still growing strong.
It's still growing, and there's a lot more in store, right? Because there's so much more story that can be told.
Awesome. Thanks, Cisco. Like we can't talk about. We don't know the date quite yet, right?
For these guys.
For each line.
Well, so the Attack Collection is, I believe, available now. They're all available for pre-sale, right?
Okay.
And so these guys available. I mean, basically, by the time like the end of April, May runs around, like these are going to be available in store or online to buy, right?
Okay.
So they're all available because we have in the toy business we have like our spring cycle and then we have like our fall holiday cycle. So we are like about to jump into spring. And so all this stuff that we've been talking about for the last year in terms of like what's happening in spring of 21, all that stuff is basically hitting soon.
Okay, cool. Okay, so just, I'll be able to put all right. So these will be available soon. These you might be lucky enough to find them in store, but you can pre-order them online on Amazon and on the major retailers currently.
Exactly.
And for fan reaction and stuff, you want them to go to Bandai America, correct?
Right. They can go to bandai.com and they can find a lot more about all the different products that we have, not just for Dragon Ball, but for Anime Heroes and Digimon and all the other great stuff that we have.
Awesome. I'm in particular the Evolve line really got me hyped.
Okay.
But yeah, all the Adverge line, the what was the action pose one?
That is the Attack Collection with
attack line.
The motion feature. Yeah.
The Attack Collection. Yeah. I'm very excited for these. I think a lot of fans will be just excited, if not a little more. Thanks again for sharing and showing us what's up with Dragon Ball lines.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could give you guys a preview of great things to come.